You good?
No, I'll just keep adjusting it for the rest of my life.
You are a very...
Don't judge me. All right. There's two things I have to ask you.
Okay.
Are you ready?
No.
Okay. And what are we talking about?
The movies that make you cry.
Oh, God. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Hear Us Out. I'm Patrick.
And I'm Paul.
And we are going to let you get to know us a little bit better. So what we're hoping you'll do is in the comment section or on Twitter, which you've seen our Twitter address right here. It's not called a Twitter address. Hey, old man, Twitter address. You've seen our Twitter handle. What are they really called?
That's better.
Twitter username? It's better. Is
our user, our Twitter user.
Yeah. Ah, look, I should just leave that part to you. Anyway, you've seen our tweety twit stuff. You can get in contact with us and ask some questions, and we will answer them anytime that we do one of these. But since no one's asked a question, it came up between us. To get to know us better, we're going to maybe talk, we haven't discussed it, camera had to go on first, about films that made us cry. It doesn't have to even just be films. If there's a TV show, if Lassie ever made you cry. No, okay. I'm not suggesting that it should, but you're like, no, I hate that dog.
God, I can't wait for it to... No.
You're like, my favourite one was where Lassie got hit by the car and then I stopped the tape.
My favourite one was Lassie was the one down the well.
Was that not Skip? I
don't
They were
know.
all down a well. There was a boy down a well for every non-speaking animal.
Pretty much.
So what we're going to do, the format we haven't really worked out. So I'm just going to ask Paul, give us a film or a something that made you cry. What got into that cold, dark hole where your heart should be?
Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, I have never seen Lilo and Stitch.
Oh, have you not?
Now I'm going to cry if I do.
Well, I don't know. There's a scene in Lilo and Stitch where Stitch is in the woods on his own and he is looking for his family. And it's just kind of, it's after he's just told a story about the ugly duckling, and it's a very emotional moment and it was just like,
you got the lump in the throat and it finally
I don't get
more
lump
than
in the
nothing.
throat at that moment. No, it's
like,
full on, like when they're talking about the ducks and then I know that scene's coming. I'm just like,
God.
I have to leave. Goodbye.
There's something about animated films that historically are able to get to people like that. And for me, I guess the first one I'll throw out is also animated. And no, it's not Bambi. It's not one of the classics that everybody always assumes. For me, it was relatively recent. But I remember going to see Up for the first time. I saw Up in a movie theater full of people, and they all heard me cry.
Oh.
And weirdly, I didn't have to watch the whole film to do it. Watch the first 5 minutes of Up.
Oh, really?
It's the first 5 minutes where they show the montage of the main character's life, who he becomes the old man, but it shows him meeting his childhood sweetheart, spending his entire life with her. Then I'm going to cry now. Then the tragic passing of his, it's always tragic when two people who are meant to be together as they were. It's not, and people are like, is it because he's lonely? It's like, no, they portray the love that those two people had so beautifully that I was almost crying before she was taken away. And oh my God, when they took her away, I was like, I hate this film. And I really just bawled my ass crying, and then had to sit through an entire film where there's a dog called Doug going squirrel, which is funny for everybody else, and I'm laughing away with snot and tears.
God.
Yeah, and snot and tears is no fun when you have a beard, folks. You know that. So yeah, Up. And weird thing is, I go downstairs, watch it right now. Same thing.
Yeah, Lilo and Stitch, that scene.
Every time.
Every time.
Every time.
And it's worse now, probably, because I know it's coming. And I try as hard as I can, and it will just go on. Yeah. So I guess the next one would be to me.
Yeah.
Which would probably be, which goes Inside Out, which is another one of those.
Oh yeah, no, it's another Pixar, isn't it? Pixar did make that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
What point in that?
It's the Pongo, the imaginary friend.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah. No, that's
sacrificing himself for his childhood, for like, so his childhood friend can, get her memory and get her all her feels back, and so that the feel, or what is it, happiness and sadness can get back to their rightful place, and he sacrifices himself. It's an awful moment because it's one of those things where you're just like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
and then it slowly becomes more and more.
And I always respect a film more for making sure that you have to sit through that tough moment. I think it gives a film a core and a bit of integrity. Although weirdly, I'm just thinking to myself, we thought this would be a great video to do, and now we're both just going to come out of this feeling really sad.
Yeah.
Although no, I can pull this back, because there are also times when you cry for joyous reasons. And one of my favourite films of all time, a film called Shine, about Jeffrey Helfgott, who was a young man who was a virtuoso piano genius, essentially. Absolute incredible genius. Has a bit of a mental break. Spends the rest of his life. I know, sounds like a laugh a minute. It's an incredibly sad film, and I cry at multiple points through it. Most of them are for very sad reasons. Mm-hmm. But there comes a point where, as an adult, the main character, who, and this is based on a real person, who has serious mental and emotional issues at that stage from some childhood trauma, and there's a lot of family issues in it, but he finds love, and there is a joyous jumping up and down on a trampoline. He doesn't understand social norms, so he's in an overcoat and naked, and this lady looks at him, the love of his life, the woman who understands him, and they spend their lives together. There is no more joyous yes moment that I can think of in movies for me, when this guy who I've been so emotionally connected to finds happiness because there's such another lovely person out there that loves him. Mm-hmm. Every time I will cry. Every time. And I suppose to lighten it up, I also think I cried when Optimus Prime died in the Transformers movie. I just thought I'd try and exit out of what was making me feel really bad into one that's less important.
Is that the one with Unicron? The one in like 1980 something?
Yes, the original, the very first animated movie. I had to go to a friend's house. They had the VHS player. Rodimus Prime. Hot Rod became Rodimus Prime.
Yeah.
My nerd is showing. Thank you for exposing yours with me. But so I got too serious about Shine there. It was actually making me sad. That's how good it is. Even when I was talking about the happy part, I was still getting sad thinking about the sad parts.
Oh God!
So it's a cry fest, but as well worth seeing. What about you?
I've got nothing else. That's pretty much.
So what about Optimus Prime? Were you like, screw him? I don't like trucks. I like cars.
Well, in the tradition, I was of the age that knew that he comes back. So
right, yeah. See,
it wasn't one of those moments where it's just like, oh, he's gone forever. It's just like, he definitely comes back.
Yeah, see, I dated myself. Nothing like that had ever existed. So when I went to somebody's house to watch it, it was like, they don't kill people in kid stuff in our era. Nobody had ever killed something in a child's
Bambi
movie.
Like,
Do you think we got to see Bambi at that stage? It was like, no. So yeah, I'd love to hear what made everybody out there cry. Like, throw it in there. It doesn't have to be sad cries. If there's anything where, oh God, any of those sporting movies where the team wins at the end of the underdogs, sometimes there's a little bit of joyous, happy crying for that.
Yeah,
a little lump,
I think I've had movies that have teared me up, but nothing as severe as probably those two films.
Well, I got to watch Lilo and Stitch this weekend, and if I end up laughing at the part that you were crying at, I'm going to text you and send you a picture of me like, ha ha, ugly duckling. No, I'm not that person. Well,
fuck you.
Nicely said. And on that note, how about you subscribe and share?
And we could also message us about more of the questions that you would like to see us answer on our movie choices, or
Yeah, let us know anything else you'd like us to tell you about, and let us know what made you cry. I've been Patrick.
And I've been Paul.
And we've been Hear Us Out.
And crying like babies.
Like absolute babies. Actually, you know what else would really have made me cry? And this is terrible because it's true. Oh God, I'm such a weirdo for cars. There was a time when I was very little, if somebody crushed a really nice car in a movie, and when I was little, I'd be like, why are they doing that? They're destroying a good one. I'm talking when I was little, 18.
I think I made a huge mistake with... I don't think... I can't think of any other movies that would make me cry. I think I cried in Event Horizon. when the ship got destroyed. It was a beautiful ship.
That was a dark, dark film.